I'm delighted to introduce you to my guest for today. If you like the idea of looking a few years younger, then he's the best person to know. It's a fabulous facial yoga extraordinaire, Ross Duttson. Ross, it's so nice to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's lovely to see you.
You are looking amazing, which I would expect nothing less of you, because of course you are a facial yoga expert, something that I have to admit I've never tried in my life, and I've tried just about everything when it comes to keeping my body fit. So I need to know more about FOGA, please.
I love that. I love that you coined it FOGA. I've never heard that before, and I'm going to take that from you. So thank you. You just literally changed my life. I love it. I love it. So FOGA, I'm going to literally use that from now on, is literally exercising the muscles in your face. So much the same way that we take our bodies to the gym and we exercise our bodies to make ourselves feel better and, keep ourselves toned, we can do exactly the same within the face. We've got about 57 muscles in the face, tiny, tiny, tiny little ones. And the great news is that once you've found them, the muscle memory is really there and you don't need to do too much work. So you don't need to take your face to the gym for an hour every day, about 10 minutes.
That's amazing because, yeah, I forget that I've got muscles in my face. And as they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So have I lost it? Have I lost it forever though, Ross? I'm in my 40s, nearly 50s, and I have never done facial yoga. So can I get it back now?
Absolutely. And you've got great skin tone and great definition anyway. So you're a great person to start working with. But yeah, there's no early time and no late time to start working. The key to it is practice and consistency. So once you get it into your head that you're going to do something like this, it's just getting that like little routine going and giving yourself a few minutes a day just to kind of get yourself going. But no, you're not too late at all. Let's do it.
So you said every day. Is it something like you have to go to the gym, like you have to go every day in order to kind of benefit from the gym, or do you need a rest day? Look at me already angling for a rest day already and I haven't started. But
no, you're fine. You're fine. Have a rest day, darling. Absolutely. No, we always think that actually to start off with, it's a really good idea to do a little bit of work every day for about a month, because what that does is it just gets the muscles going. It just finds the muscles, because actually the muscles around the eyes, they're like donuts all the way around and we don't use them at all. So by finding them, we need to just kind of get those starting to move and starting to actually work with the resistance. So I would always suggest working with somebody at least every day for a month, but about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's not too much of an agony, that one. And then after that, you can tailor it to really kind of 3-4 times a week. And then if you've got a big event or we've got lovely weddings and parties coming up in the summer, you can really then kind of really go for it for about a week before that and lift everything up.
Fantastic. Right, so you mentioned donuts around the eyes, because this is something that's happening with me as I'm getting older. I'm noticing that it's like my sort of cheeks are sagging and I can see under my eyes, it feels a bit hollow now. Can I bulk that area back up again?
Very much so, very much so. So we can tailor really different parts of the face, but what we always do at the beginning when I work with somebody is we do a whole routine. So it's like when we go to the gym, we'd go and kind of do a general workout and then maybe think, right, we're going to do legs and we're going to do our biceps, we're going to do upper body, or we can do the same with the face. So we can then start, toning and really kind of lifting up the forehead. And as you can see, did you see when I did that?
Yes.
What happens when you lift your forehead? Your eyes start lifting,
Yeah.
and everything is connected. So if you've got, for example, jowls, which I used to have, and they appear every now and then, I lift up my cheeks, and then automatically that happens there, you see. So in answer to your question, yes, we can help the muscle tone underneath the eyes. It's a really delicate area, that. And the way to do that is really little tiny squints, but and you'll be looking as if you're looking into the sun. And then also the cheek ones, we can lift and plump them. And like I said, by doing that, you're actually lifting the corners of your mouth. So that kind of face that we have.
Yes, I know that face too well.
What did you call it?
My resting bitch face. Yeah, my RBF.
RBF, and you see, I'm gonna take that from you as well. I've never
Yeah.
heard that. I love it. I've heard the resting bitch face, but RBF, I love it. So that RBF is where we've kind of all been at for the last year, looking at our screens, looking at our computers, and what we need to do is kind of just actually open everything out. And so, yes, we can we can just bring in blood flow into the muscles and really kind of, and with a bit of massage as well, and tapping, which is going to bring energy into the face. So yeah, there are loads of different things that you can do just to kind of actually puff everything up and make yourself feel better.
I love it. As you're talking about all these amazing things that you can do to your face, I'm holding myself differently. I'm like sort of kind of lifting my chin up, so I can imagine how it feels once you've done the exercise. I'm just like, oh.
Oh, Sam, amazing. It's just amazing because I mean, when I first started this about 15 years ago, I really thought it was just about, okay, I don't want to have Botox, so I want to make sure that my number 11 lines aren't there. And I want to make sure, because I'm very expressive. So, that my lines were incredibly deep. I mean, I've still got lines. I don't care. It's fine. But they're not as deep. And the crow's feet, they appear if I've had a long day of laughing with friends, or lots and lots of animated chat, then they're there. But then you can just do the exercise and then they can sort of melt away.
So you mentioned about when you started. I mean, was it just a dramatic kind of, I need to do something to my face, or it's all just going to go pear-shaped from here on end? I mean, talk me through how you got into facial yoga on a personal level, and then how it's taken you to this, where you're sharing the love and sharing your knowledge.
15 years ago, I'm not a particularly vain person. Don't really look in the mirror very often. And I was beginning to just see that there were changes happening in my face. It wasn't really bothering me. But then what a lot of my friends were doing was Botox and filler, and just trying to sort of tweak those little tweakments. And I just looked at myself and I thought, okay, I'm kind of being left behind here. And it wasn't necessarily a look that I wanted to go down. So I just started looking to see if there was anything that was natural. And what happened was I just sensed that actually, if I didn't do something, my eyes were very hooded. I had those lines between there. I was definitely getting quite jowly. And my chin was everything was just dropping. And I could just see myself kind of turning into the person that I didn't particularly feel like on the inside. I felt really, really kind of energized, but actually it would take a bit of time, whether it was just sort of relaxation or something, to actually make my skin and my face feel okay. So anyway, I researched and I found this incredible lady who was way into her 80s, based in London, called Eva Fraser. And Eva was a facial fitness guru, and I thought, well, I'm going to treat myself to one of her sessions. It was terribly expensive, and I saved up and I went to see her, and I instantly, Sam, fell in love with her, the method, everything. And she taught me her method. And she's only taught 12 people in the world. And I'm so grateful, because I'm actually the only guy that she's taught in the whole world as well. And so she's recently passed. So I now have this legacy. And I've been able to kind of share her gift, really. And her thing was really about beauty. All about beauty and about how you feel on the outside. So I then started really looking at other kind of aspects of it. So I started working with people who had either had Bell's palsy or minor strokes, and they'd had one side of their face feeling like they were asymmetrical. And I found this incredible Japanese lady who'd had a car crash, and she developed a method. And so I trained under her as well. And so her thing was very kind of medical based, but at the same time about beauty. And then I started, the penny dropped. It was like, oh, this is all about well-being. It's just how you feel on the inside, because then if you're feeling good on the inside and your skin tone's looking kind of okay, like, I'm not saying that I look fab, but I am the best me at this moment.
Yeah.
And that's what's wonderful about it. And you can tweak it. If you feel like your eyes are a little bit hooded, you can just bring them up. It's pretty immediate. And then the muscle will remember it. Obviously, if you don't train, then they fall down again. So, I look in the mirror every now and then and go, I haven't trained, I haven't done my work, I've got to do some work. But because all of the muscles are kind of ready and they're just waiting, you know, I just do a couple of exercises and everything just pings back into place. It's a lovely feeling.
It's like you said, there's no hiding under clothes. Our face is the first thing that people see, you know, so and we face it every single day in the mirror. So there's no getting away from, you know, the fact that you haven't trained it, I guess, once you start to train. But it's really interesting what you said about feeling good from the inside. So some of the people that I've really felt a connection with, that feel like I want to spend time with this person, they radiate something from within. They have wrinkles, they have the usual lines where you know, age spots and different things. It's just that there's something that comes out of them that I'm drawn to them. And I'm guessing, yeah, facial yoga will add to that sort of kind of well-being feeling, that then when you go out to a party or, you know, to meet people, you're exuding that energy.
It's a real personal thing, and actually it just happens very naturally. I find that quite a lot of my clients, when I'm working with them one-to-one, will work with a mirror, and there's often a little tear that happens because it's like they suddenly realize something about themselves. They're really looking deep into their eyes and thinking, got to give myself some self-love. So I work with mantras, I work with, you know, really telling people just to love themselves, and this is the part of the self-love. So a lot of the exercises I've been doing on Zoom during lockdown have been actually hugging and touching the face, and just by literally doing that, it's automatically just made my shoulders go down, and it's just made me think like, oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, that's all I have to do, and I actually feel 10 times better then already. And so no, it's a beautiful thing, and it's like definitely from inside out. But it just depends how you are feeling, and it's almost like you can fake it till you make it in a way, you know, do the work, do a bit of mirror work, do some of this work. And it's like, it just sort of automatically happens. And it's like, you almost don't have a choice. It's just there.
Don't
The only
have a
problem,
choice, but looking amazing.
no, but the choice, you almost don't have any choice of having that amazing self-love, that feeling of well-being that then you're going to exude. And I think that's what's really fantastic. If you can pass that around, then it comes back to you, then it gets passed on. It's like showing and sharing that love. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So it's so much more than just sitting in front of a mirror and doing some funny, actually, it's just funny faces, to be honest.
Yeah, just funny faces. I love that. So, of course, I mean, you know, I'm in my 40s, late 40s, and, you know, people my age now will be thinking maybe about Botox and fillers. When you look at your face and how things have changed, I've tried Botox in the past. I did not get on with it at all. It makes me worse, looks worse. So what if people have had a little bit of filler or do have Botox and do want to try FOGA? Can they still do that if they have had work done to their face already, for want of a better phrase?
Good question. I mean, the thing with Botox and filler, they start dissolving as soon as you put it into your face. So you can start doing the face yoga and any facial fitness once you get a little bit of movement back. So I would tailor it very calmly, very quietly to start with. But after about 2-3 weeks, you can start working. And so actually what I've done is I've worked with people who have really been kind of weaning themselves off any injectables. But what I don't suggest is just stopping them immediately, because your face isn't used to it. So what it's a kind of like a balancing. So while the Botox is getting less and less and less, I'd then up the ante on the face yoga, and then it gets to the point where they can then actually just do face yoga.
Lovely. And it is, at the moment, self-care is that buzzword, isn't it? It's all about sort of taking time for you, especially the year and a half we've had. We all could do with a bit of self-love and care. I mean, what does facial yoga go with? I mean, if you want to do an evening where you're pampering yourself and you want to add some facial yoga into the mix, I'm guessing that you kind of blend it with other things, and you know, you can sleep amazingly well afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, there are all sorts of things that you can mix it with. So, I mean, I would if I was going to think about doing almost like a pampering session for myself, then I might put some lovely music on in the background. I might have done my yoga practice beforehand. I might then do my skincare while I'm doing my face yoga. So then, because you're actually moving and you're helping your face, you know, you're moving the skin, you're going to actually help that product actually sink in better. So there are all sorts of things that you can do, maybe meditation directly after it, and then bed. I mean, I've put together a series of with a couple of friends. So we've got a yoga session, a face yoga session, and then a yoga session, and then a sound gong bath at the end of it. And it just is such a really lovely combination in that, you know, mine can be quite dynamic or it can be quite relaxing. And then we hit the mat, do a bit of downward dog, and then we have a lovely meditation. So, you know, it can be a bit like a yoga practice. It's like you can make your face yoga quite dynamic and like really bring the blood flow in. You can get a really lovely flush, or you can make it absolutely beautifully relaxing at the end of the day. So depending on when I'm doing my FOGA, if I'm doing it in the morning, it's generally let's get up and go, and kind of like, let's get this face going. It's like, you know, you wake up. I'm a side sleeper, so, you know, there are all sorts of things going on there. I try and sleep on my back. Doesn't work. I've tried all the tricks, Sam. You can put a pillow underneath your knees, and you can put pillows either side of it.
No,
I've tried it all. I mean, honestly, whatever works for you, you're gonna have to, you know, we've got to sleep. That's one of the most important things. So I mean, you know, I try and go to sleep on my back, but I always wake up and I'm on this side. So I know that my nasal labial fold on this side is bigger. So I just need to work that harder. It's as simple as that.
that's brilliant. I love that. So obviously when we see someone looking muscly, we know they go to the gym, especially if you're a personal trainer. You're like, I know they work out that part and that part of their body. Can you look at someone, say a celebrity, and say, right, they do facial yoga. I can tell that they work out their, whatever that line was called. Can you look at a celebrity?
Yeah, it's a great question. Sometimes, and sometimes not actually, because I think if they've had great work and it's like really clever with a really good esthetician, then, you know, it looks so natural. But I have noticed that, you know, if they've got a really great defined jaw and then I can sort of see a muscle, it's like if I can just sort of see popping muscles, or when they're speaking that actually muscles are kind of raising and I can see that sort of thing, then yeah. But I don't know, it's not something I really look out for. I do know that it was reported that Meghan Markle was doing face yoga for many years. Yeah. And I kind of really studied her face and I thought, do you know what? Whatever she's doing, she just looks lovely and kind of fresh. And I think that's the thing that you do get with face yoga. Your face and your skin tone can look really fresh and plump.
You did mention that you can just do a bit of facial yoga sort of anywhere, any time of day. Do you do that? Are you sort of at the bus stop or, you know, waiting for a tube and doing the funny faces?
Yeah, I must admit, I didn't do it when I first started it because I was kind of always a bit, well, when I actually first started it, to be honest, it was a secret. It was kind of like, this is my beauty secret. I'm not going to tell anybody. You know, people would start saying to me things like, have you been on holiday? Or are you in love? And I'd be like, oh, no, I'm just feeling really good at the moment. You know, I mean, honestly, those days have gone. I'm like, no, man, I'm working my face. I work out. And that's why, you know, it might look a bit fresher or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I do it wherever. If I feel like I can feel it in my face. It's a bit like your body as well. If you need to kind of like stretch out, I feel like I just need to stretch my face out. And after that workout as well, if I don't get that, oh gosh, I've worked my face out, then I need to do a couple more exercises. But yeah, I'll do it on the tube. And it's turned into kind of flash mob type stuff sometimes, whereby I'll be doing something and there might be someone really kind of looking and they'll be saying, what is that weirdo doing? And then it's happened that about 3 or 4 people have started doing it with me, and then I'm doing a session on the tube and it's like they're all getting off and everyone's laughing, and it's brilliant. I love it.
So cool. That's brilliant. So do you do classes where lots of people will be doing the same thing? Because I think I'd just giggle my head off if I'm looking around and I'm pulling my eyes and someone next to me is doing
really
the same.
Funny. No, it's a good point. I think what normally happens, Sam, is you kind of have a bit of a giggle And then you suddenly kind of go through that and think, actually, this is, although we're making like really strange faces and, oh no, it's like you then kind of get into it. It's really strange, but it's like I want everyone to have a bit of a giggle because I think it is funny. We're making silly faces, and when I'm working with lots of people, there's a lovely energy around. So everyone's really helping everybody, and it's like you're kind of laughing, going, "Okay, you definitely look sillier than me," but then actually, no, I probably don't. We're all the same, all in the same boat. But yeah.
I love it. So what we're going to do, we're going to link from this to some of your exercises. So on the podcast landing page, there'll be a link. So if people want to try your fabulous exercises, they can do. And then let us know. Let us know. Send the before and after pictures would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just sort of kind of
That's
this.
a really good idea.
Yeah. Exercises and then a few weeks later, say what, 2 weeks later, would you say, or a few more?
I would say 4, definitely. If people want to try something and to get a really good idea, you need about 4 to start with. Yeah. And I think with those before and after pictures, you really need to make sure that you do it kind of same time of the day, maybe wear the same top so that the light's looking the same thing, just so you don't look completely different.
Amazing. So so people can try that and let us know about that. Ross, it's been amazing to speak to you. Thank you so much. Before you go, will you just do us my perfect questions?
Of course, I'd love to. My perfect night in would be, if I'm on my own, it would be with a glass of wine and a movie. My perfect evening out would be definitely with friends and family, and it would be in I don't know, like a cool, vibey, low-key bar, cafe, and it would definitely include nice wine and some lovely fresh fish. My perfect holiday would be something that I've hankered for the last year because we've been stuck in England, haven't we? I go to Thailand most years, and I'm just so looking forward to getting there and feeling that sunshine on my bones, doing some yoga on the beach, and just tasting the beautiful fresh food that is daily prepared by some lovely Thai friends of mine. Can't wait. My perfect pamper would be literally having a cup of coffee and reading a magazine. It can also mean doing some face yoga or doing a face pack or really looking after your skin or going to the gym. But actually my perfect pamper is switching everything off, making a beautiful cup of coffee and just having a bit of time out. My perfect meal is quite easy. I'm quite a simple character when it comes to food. I don't eat meat, not for any particular reason, but I love making hummus and say like a tabbouleh or just a bean salad and having pitta and dipping, and that's kind of my perfect food. That's how I love to eat. It's easy and fresh. My perfect date would be a doing date. I recently went on a walking date and it was so much fun. I was a bit apprehensive because I thought, will I be able to keep up? Have I got the right boots on? Is it going to rain? All of those things. But actually, take everything away. Just going on the date meant that we were walking and talking and laughing, and it just made it really easy. So I would suggest having something to do, but then maybe having a reward at the end. So we went to a really beautiful pub and it worked.